Alexa, watch my flash briefing.
Here's your flash briefing from CNBC.
This CNBC News update is brought to you by Oppenheimer Funds.
Alexa, turn the volume down.
So look at the week ahead on Wall Street. After a brutal start to the new month, investors hope to get back to their winning ways this week, awaiting a final decision from the White House on those proposed tariffs on imported steel and aluminum products. But the president has seen a lot of pushback, not only from U.S. manufacturers of cars, appliances, and more, but also from our closest allies like Canada and the European Union. In economic data, we get factory orders and consumer credit for January. That's how much Americans borrowed for everything but mortgages. And on Friday, it's the biggie, the February jobs report. A new era at Chipotle. Brian Niccol, who made his bones at Taco Bell, takes over as CEO of the struggling burrito chain. Meantime, McDonald's will start serving fresh, never frozen hamburger meat. In London, there's an Andy Warhol portrait. It's called 6 Self-Portraits going up for auction, expected to sell for at least $30 million. Friday, the 9th annual National Day of Unplugging, encouraging all of us to turn off our phones and every other device. And will it be Jay-Z or Diddy? Forbes magazine is out with its annual list of the richest people in hip-hop. I'm Tom Busby, CNBC.
In Daily Tech Headlines.
This is the Daily Tech Headlines Weekend History Edition. Consider on this day, March 3rd, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland, an expert in vocal physiology and elocution welcomed his newborn son into the world. He was named after his father. Alexander Graham Bell would go on to become synonymous with the telephone. Daily Tech Headlines will be back to the news Monday through Friday. Talk to you then.
In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Giles Snyder. A 100-page gun control bill is headed for a final vote in the Florida Senate tomorrow. Jessica Bateman from member station WLRN reports that lawmakers spent a Saturday session debating the bill crafted in response to the Parkland school shooting.
Democrats spent 8 hours proposing dozens of changes to the bill, but over and over they heard,
"The amendment is not adopted."
The legislation has opponents on both sides. Gun rights enthusiasts object to raising the purchasing age from 18 to 21. This is Republican David Simmons.
This paints with too broad of a brush.
Alternatively, without a ban on assault weapons, the Black Caucus plans to oppose the bill in a block. Here's Democrat Perry Thurston.
Let's give the students their number one request.
About halfway through the session, the Senate stopped for a moment of silence. It's been 17 days since 17 people were killed in the shooting. For NPR News, I'm Jessica Bakeman in Tallahassee.
West Virginia teachers are pledging to remain off the job until state lawmakers approve the 5% raise they negotiated with the governor. Union leaders announced that decision after the state Senate voted to lower the raise to 4%. South Korea will send a diplomatic delegation to North Korea this week, as NPR's Elise Hu reports.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in announced he will dispatch 10 aides to Pyongyang on Monday. The delegation will include South Korea's spy chief and the head of the National Security Office. The South says the two sides are expected to discuss ways to establish peace on the peninsula and further develop the inter-Korean relationship. This move follows North Korea sending delegations for both the opening and closing of the Winter Games in South Korea last month. Moon's reciprocal move could pave the way for a top-level inter-Korean summit and potentially even talks with the United States. South Korea says Moon discussed sending this delegation in a call with President Donald Trump on Thursday. Elise Hu, NPR News, Seoul.
The parliamentary election in Italy today. Recent polls suggest populist parties will be the biggest vote getters, but NPR's Sylvia Poggioli reports that there may be no clear winner.
Voters have three main blocs to choose from: a center-right coalition, a center-left coalition, and the anti-establishment Five-Star Movement that the last poll showed had the most support of any single party. Even more than in recent elections in France and Germany, populism, nationalism, and anti-European and anti-immigrant sentiments dominated the campaign. Despite positive results in the economy, the incumbent center-left Democratic Party failed to showcase its achievements and has been widely blamed for the influx of more than 600,000 migrants in the last 4 years. 1/3 Italians last surveyed said they were undecided who to vote for or whether to vote at all, prompting many analysts to predict a hung parliament. Sylvia Poggioli, NPR News, Rome.
And you're listening to NPR News. Tonight, Hollywood celebrates the 90th Academy Awards, which will again be hosted by Jimmy Kimmel. NPR's Mandalit Del Barco reports on the contenders.
Guillermo del Toro's Fish Out of Water love story, The Shape of Water, leads the pack with 13 nominations. Christopher Nolan's World War II film Dunkirk has 8 possibilities of getting an Oscar, followed by 3 billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, with 7 nominations. They're all competing for Best Picture with Call Me By Your Name, Darkest Hour, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, The Post, and Get Out.
One of Hollywood's most beloved actors has died. David Ogden Stiers passed away at his home in Newport, Oregon, of bladder cancer. He was 75. He was best known for his role in the TV series MASH, as Danielle Carson reports.
David Ogden Stiers joined the cast of MASH in 1977. He played a brilliant but arrogant surgeon, Major Charles Emerson Winchester. He was nominated for an Emmy twice. In one episode, he's giving a hard time to a Marine who has a billiard ball stuck in his mouth.
What on earth could that be? Oh, looky, a little 6 painted on it. Could that be how old you are? Oh!
Stiers was also a musician and prolific voice actor, with roles in 8 Disney films, including Cogsworth in Beauty and the Beast. David Ogden Stiers was 75. For NPR News, I'm Danielle Carson in Pasadena, California.
The British athlete Roger Bannister has also died. A family statement says he died this weekend at age 88. Bannister was the first to run the mile in under 4 minutes. I'm Giles Snyder. NPR News from Washington.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Kicking Horse Coffee. Kicking Horse Coffee says, wake up with us. Dreams don't come true until dreamers wake up. Wake up with Kicking Horse Coffee, available at Amazon. Or for more info, visit kickinghorsecoffee.com.
That's all from your flash briefing.